So I have never been a hard worker. I am someone who procrastinates a lot and I put things off until the last minute. And over the last 3 years, I've been able to force myself to just work hard, even though no one's putting a gun at my head telling me that I need to do this work. I've just been able to come up with some systems and some things that have really helped me that I'm going to teach you in this video that have allowed me to just do things like this, get my phone out and record. Today it's a Sunday, and most people on a Sunday would be just doing nothing, right? Playing video games or maybe watching a film. And I've been able to get to a point where I actually am motivated to work and want to work. And that's what I want to give you in this video. So by the end of the video, I'm going to hope that you get some good advice out of this video and you can use it to go and be more productive yourself. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is overcoming friction. So if you've ever worked a 9-to-5 job like I have for most of my adult life, you'll know that there's always this thing that happens when you first get into the office where you basically come across this thing called friction. And it's where thoughts crop up in your mind and you start to do random little tasks before you actually sit down and do the work that you're supposed to do in your job. So you might get into the office and you might like unpack your bag, get your laptop out, put it onto the thing, plug it in. Then you're going to quickly go make a coffee first. You're going to say good morning to all the people that are there or your work colleagues, have a little quick chat with them. And then you might sit down at your laptop, you open it up, you type in your password, you get into your laptop, and then you're going to quickly check the news, what's happening in the world, what's new, you know. And then before you know it, it's probably about 9:30. Like if you work a 9-to-5, it's around about 9:30 until you actually start to do any of your actual work. And this is the same exact thing that happens outside of your 9-to-5. So for me, I still work a 9-to-5, but outside of a 9-to-5, there's no one telling me that I have to do additional work. So there's no one telling me that I have to work on this YouTube channel. There's no one telling me that I need to go to the gym. There's no one telling me that I need to read a book or go for a walk or listen to a podcast or learn. So when you're at a job, you have accountability. So at my company that I work at, there's this thing called time tracking, which is basically this software that you have to type in all of the tasks that you've done in the day. So like, I'll get onto this software and I have to write for like, okay, so half an hour we had the morning meeting with the team. And then for an hour after that, I worked on this particular client doing these ads. And then for an hour after that, I did this other meeting. You get the point. You have to like write down each individual task that you've done in the day to prove that you've done 7.5 hours worth of work in that day. That doesn't happen in real life, right? Like you probably don't have a time tracking software for yourself, your own like separate work from your main job or from school. And that means that overcoming friction outside of your 9-to-5 job is way more difficult than overcoming friction in your job, because again, there's no accountability. There's no one saying that you have to do this work. Because one, you're not actually getting paid to do it. You're not like contractually obligated to do it. And two, you probably have no accountability. You don't have anyone in your social circle, in your friends or your parents or anyone saying, why haven't you uploaded a video? Or why haven't you like sent an email out to try and get more clients or anything like that, right? So it's way more difficult to overcome friction when you're just working for yourself. And what I found with me personally, this just makes it so easy when I want to sit down and record a video like I am now, or I need to sit down and like script a video, for my brain to just come up with thoughts like, I can't be bothered to do this right now, or I can't be asked, or let's just quickly like watch this YouTube video first and like learn a bit more from like Hamza or from Dan Coe or whatever. Let's watch some more self-improvement content. Let's quickly like scroll through my phone before I start recording and then I'll record after, or I'll record this video after I have had some food first or something, or I'm going to make a quick coffee first, right? There's going to be loads of thoughts like that go into your brain that is going to stop you from actually going and doing the task that you said you're going to do. So for me, this is literally just recording videos or scripting videos. I do have like another thing that I'm working on, which is running Google ads for my own clients, but that's kind of like not really as much work as the YouTube stuff. And again, I'll get so many thoughts come into my head on, let's just do the task after I've been for a walk. I'll go get a coffee first, I'll go for a walk, and then as soon as I've done that, I'll do the task, right? So you probably have these same kind of thoughts come into your head, and that's basically your brain just coping with the friction. Like that is the friction, the thoughts that are stopping you from just sitting down and doing the work that you've said that you're going to do for that day. That is the friction. And the best way to just get over this friction is to treat it like that is the work. So what I mean by that is when you get a thought that comes into your brain that says, oh, let's just do this after we've had some breakfast, right? You might get that thought first where you're convinced, or your brain is convincing you that you need to eat some food first before you can sit down and do some work. When you get that thought, just remember that is the friction. So this video is about me doing hard work and how I feel I can do more hard work than pretty much everyone I know, especially because I'm doing it outside of my 9 to 5, right? And one of the main ways I've been able to do that is whenever I get these thoughts, like I had these thoughts right before recording this video. I have my camera on the tripod, I have the script in front of me, I've got everything prepared, and yet still I was just hesitant to press the record button on my phone because I was like, just not feeling motivated. I was like, oh, I'll do it later on, you know. And I've just pressed the record button and I've reminded myself that is what hard work feels like the thoughts that you have in your brain that's telling you that you should do this later on. That is the hard aspect of the work. It's not necessarily the work itself. Like this isn't super difficult, me talking to this camera, right? And giving you this advice because I already know it, I already do it. But the thing that's difficult is just getting to the point where you start. And that is where most people, and where you're probably not making any progress with like your YouTube channel or your business. It's because you just don't start the work. So the best analogy that I've heard to kind of get through this is imagine trudging through the snow. This is something that I've learned from Hamza, and he gave me this analogy. I don't know where he got it from or whether he came up with it or what, but trudging through the snow, right? Trudging through the snow is like notoriously difficult. If you're like in knee-deep snow, it's hard. You've got to like walk through it. It's like kind of a workout just to walk through the snow. That is kind of what you have to treat hard work like. Like me recording this video now is me trudging through the snow. And if there's any points in this video where like I cut it in the editing because I'm trying to think about the next point, that is kind of an example of me trudging through the snow, right? I'm thinking of the next thing to say and I'm just pursuing, I'll just keep going and I'm gonna get this video out no matter what. And that is kind of how you need to treat your work outside of your schools, your studies. When no one's telling you that you need to do it, it's like trudging through the snow. That's the hard work. So when you get a thought that comes into your brain that's like convincing you to do this later on, that you can save this task until after you've had some food, that's the snow, right? That's the friction. And you need to trudge through that. You need to be like, no, I'm doing it fucking now because I've said I'm going to do it now, right? I've sat down today to record videos. I want to get some videos made. And if I allow the thoughts in my brain to be like, oh, let's just do this later, let's do this later, it'll just keep on happening. I'll keep on getting those thoughts and I'll actually never make any videos. And that's like an example of me not trudging through the snow. So just identify when you have a thought in your head that's telling you to just do this thing later on because you really just can't be asked to do it. That is the snow, okay? So get that into your brain. Just don't listen to your brain, right? If your brain is convincing you that this is something that can wait until later on, that is the friction. So you need to overcome that friction and just see that as the hard work. What this basically means that you can do is when you trudge through that snow, you can actually turn it into a positive thing. So for me, right, I'm recording this video right now. I'm not feeling super motivated, I'm not gonna lie to you. And me just powering through it and recording it is kind of like a positive feedback loop, because when you successfully overcome a friction thought in your brain, like if your brain's, for example, has said, let's do this after we've had a coffee, let's go make a coffee first and then we'll record the video, right? When you overcome that, you can kind of reward yourself and be like, oh, I just did some hard work. right? Because it's not the actual work, like I said, that's difficult. It's just overcoming your own thoughts and your own limiting beliefs that's telling you that you can save this task until later on. It's the same with the gym, right? If you really cannot be asked to go to the gym, you're not feeling too well, maybe you just still a little bit sore, you just don't really want to go, but it's a push day and you know it's a push day and you're very tempted to skip the push day, right? And you don't want to go. When you can just overcome that thought and be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to get my gym clothes on. I'm going to get my headphones on. I'm just going to go to my car. I'm going to drive to the gym, and you just turn up, even if you don't feel like doing it. You can be like, oh shit, I just overcame like a negative thought that like 100 other people who are just like me are going to have that same thought and actually skip the gym today. And you've just overcome that and you've just gone anyway. You've just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to go anyway. Even if I don't have a good workout, you're still there. You still showed up, right? You just done it. And that is kind of the positive reinforcement that you can like consciously take into your brain and be like, you know what? I actually overcame that thought and now I'm doing the work. And that is basically how you outwork most people. Because most people, if they have a thought like that, oh, I can't be bothered, I can't be asked, then they just won't do it. And that's kind of what separates people who are really productive and actually do make some good progress in life when it comes to business or like content creation or the gym. Like people in the gym who have a really good physique and they're like shredded, six pack, big muscles. They're not the kind of people who, if they just can't be asked going to the gym, they just don't go. They just go anyway, even if they know they're going to have a bad workout. So use every moment that you can where you overcome that thought in your brain, that friction, and think, okay, I just trudged through the snow a bit further. I just overcame my own brain. I just took agency over my actions and just did it anyway. And that is how you're going to be able to overcome the friction that is basically just stopping you from actually making any progress. Because you need to understand as well that more times that you allow your brain to just take control of your life and take the easy route, right? Oh, I can't be bothered, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather just sit here and watch some YouTube or something, whatever. The more times you allow your brain to kind of take control and do that, that is going to lead you to become a serial procrastinator. You're just going to procrastinate through life. You're going to have all these big ideas. You're going to be kept awake at night thinking about all the stuff that you want to do. Oh, I really want to be a content creator. I really want to make YouTube videos. I really want to have this business model where I'm like, selling this clothing item, whatever. You're going to have all these ideas in your head, but they'll never leave your head, right? You're never going to take action on the things that you actually want to do, that you get like excited about and you're like, oh yeah, we could do that and that could make money and then we could go live out here and like have time freedom. I wouldn't have to work at this job anymore. Like every time you have those thoughts of like, inspiration and motivation to do something, but when you actually come to do the task that you need to do in order to make that happen, you just listen to your brain and you're like, yeah, do you know what? Actually, we'll just save that till the weekend, right? Because I'm working tomorrow or I've got school tomorrow. I'm just going to wait till the weekend when I've got a bit more time. Every time you do that, that is just you procrastinating, and you need to get this into your head. Just get over that procrastination. That is kind of what I'm doing right now with this video. Today, I was not motivated, right? I wanted to record videos today, but I really couldn't be asked to record videos today. And I've just put the phone on the tripod, hit record, and I've just started. And this is me trudging through that snow and that mud. And this is kind of what hard work feels like. So just tell yourself every time that you are able to overcome a thought in your brain that's telling you to just leave it for another day. That is the hard aspect, right? That's the difficult part of the work, is getting over those thoughts that are telling you just to leave it for another day. And when you can tell yourself that and actually overcome it, it becomes like a positive feedback loop, because then you become someone who is able to do hard work, and that feels good, right? You feel productive, you feel like you're kind of above everyone else, not like in a narcissistic way, but you feel like you kind of done something that like most people would have probably just caved into, right, and not bothered doing, and you've actually gone that extra step and thought, you know what, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do some work, even if it's not my best quality work, even if it's not maybe if I'm not like proud of it, whatever, right? You're just gonna do it anyway. And that whole aspect of just doing something is going to lead me on to the next tip, which I'm going to give you now. So the next thing that I do is I just start. And I've kind of already hinted at this, but this is such a powerful tool that barely anyone actually talks about. They often talk about mindsets and motivation and things like that, which is all fine. You know, I totally agree with that. But the ability to just start before having a plan. So what a lot of YouTubers will say is that you need to have a plan and you need to regiment your life out and have, you know, each day of the week planned out beforehand of like meticulously at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go for a run. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to record videos until like 12. And then after that, I'm going to go on a call with the boys in the school community. Then I'm going to do this, that. Okay, cool, fine. If you're on a super high level where you've already achieved like the bulk of what you want to achieve in terms of your business or like content creation, whatever, yes, be super regimented, be super strict, and that's going to like optimize your time. But I imagine you watching this right now are kind of at the same level as me, where you maybe have like a small YouTube channel or you kind of like a small entrepreneur, right? And you have some kind of drop shipping business. So you're just like basically like a kid like me, right? You maybe like 20 years old, 18 years old. You're kind of at the beginner stages, and that's kind of like what I'm like. I'm just an average dude who's at the beginner stages of this whole like self-improvement business space. And for me, just starting and not having a plan is more powerful than planning my whole day out and building this big video script that's going to be very meticulous. And, you know, because I've actually done that for this video. Excuse me. I've actually done that for this video. And yeah, I've written this big meticulous script and I'm trying to kind of follow it on my laptop here. But honestly, sometimes I think it's better to just hit record and kind of just free flow with it. And you can do this with the gym, with like business in general, with anything, any task that you have to do. You don't need to have it planned out meticulously, because more often than not, if you plan something out meticulously, you'll spend so much time worrying about getting it right and getting it perfect and being a perfectionist that you probably actually won't even do it. Like your brain's going to say, oh, let's record videos after we've scripted it. And then you'll script it and then you'll be like, your brain will be like, it's not enough. Let's put it into ChatGPT. Let's make sure it's all well written. And that's what I do. And that's like where I fall down, because then that actually stops me from just creating the video. Because and I know that I could have the best script in the world for a video, but if I don't record that video, it's not going to do anything, right? I've got to actually record the video and get it onto the YouTube channel, or else it's pointless. And if you're allowing your perfectionist mindset to stop you from actually going and doing the task that you've got to do, right? I need to write the perfect email before I send it out to the client, right? But you never actually send the email because you're so worried about it like not being professional enough or something like that. Or you don't ever go to the gym because you don't have like the perfect workout routine. You don't have all the different exercises planned out yet. You don't really know what you're going to do, right? But then you don't go to the gym. Do you see what I mean? Just starting is sometimes just better. Starting with like a lower quality thing is still more progression than just not doing anything at all. So for me, with this video today that I'm recording right now, I just put my phone on the tripod and I just hit record. So there's two methods that you can do this to like just start. One of them is going to be really good if you're feeling motivated already and you're feeling like you haven't done any work for the past couple of weeks or whatever, and you've been really slacking recently on the work and you just need to get something done. And the other one is a bit better if you're feeling maybe a little bit more motivated and you kind of want to get it a bit more professional, right? So for the first method is to literally just jump into the task that you need to do, almost like you're head first diving into the deep end of a swimming pool and you don't know how to swim, right? Someone just throws you into the deep end of the swimming pool, you have no idea how to swim, and you've just got to fight for your life, just trying not to drown, right? That is kind of what I'm doing here. That is where you literally start the task and you just start writing, you just start working, you just start recording whatever the task is you need to do, whatever the thing is you need to do to be productive, with zero plan, zero idea of what you're going to talk about, and you just don't know. And the thing that I want to get into your head here is just starting is sometimes the thing that's needed to happen in order for you to actually come up with the plan, if that makes sense. So it's kind of backwards. A lot of people think you need to plan and get your ideas out on paper and get the business plan all sorted, like if you're building some fucking clothing website or something, I need to get the logo sorted, I need to know the designs, everything right. You get everything sorted first, and then you go and do the task of like building the website or recording the video. When actually it's the other way around. If sometimes you're feeling super unmotivated, or you're just a beginner like me, and you're kind of at these beginning stages of trying to create some kind of product or content, whatever, just hit record and have the phone in front of you on a tripod and just sit there staring at the phone with zero idea of what you're going to talk about. This is literally how I created my first video on this YouTube channel. So before I had no idea how to record videos. I had zero idea how to edit videos. I just didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to do something on YouTube and to become a content creator, because I've been on self-improvement for a while. And I had all these ideas and mindsets, and I'd read books and listened to podcasts, and I knew that the self-improvement space and the YouTube channel could be a thing that I could do for my work and spend my time on and invest my energy into. And it's something that I kind of found exciting, watching Hamza and a few of the self-improvement YouTubers. I was like, yeah, it could make some money as well. It seems like a good thing, like a positive thing to do, helping people and making money as well at the same time. But I didn't really know what to talk about or what to say or anything. So I just put my phone on the tripod, hit record, had the lights on, everything like this, and I just sat in front of my phone and just waited for some ideas to bubble up. And that's actually when I made my first video, and that's maybe where you are right now. Maybe you've never been to the gym before in your life, and you're really out of shape, and you just want to fucking lose weight, and you just want to get in shape, right? Well, how do you do that? I wouldn't recommend you sit in front of, YouTube and type in all the different workouts and exercises and become like a master of like how to work out. The best way you're going to learn how to work out is just to get your gym clothes on, get your headphones on, drive to the gym, fill your water bottle up, and, just go to the gym, right? And just start without any idea of what you're actually going to do. Because once you're in the gym, you've got your gym clothes on, you're there, there's no excuse. You kind of have to start the work. You have to be productive and to actually work hard because you've started. And that's kind of the same with, like I say, this video. I've just hit record. I've got a rough idea of what I'm doing, and I've just started. And when you just start, that's when you get into that kind of flow state of where you can actually, really start to work hard. And that brings me on to the second tip. The second method of just starting, I should say, is rather than jumping into the deep end, let's say you want to maybe have your work be a little bit more structured and planned, just take it step by step. So if, for example, with me again, if I'm feeling really unmotivated and I just don't want to record videos, but I've got a bit of a plan, I've got a script, I kind of know what I'm going to talk about, then just take it step by step. So for me, getting into that mindset of recording videos and doing work means, okay, let's clean my room, okay? Because my room might be very messy. Maybe there's some clothes that are on the floor that need to go in the wash, right? Okay, remove the clothes, clean up the room, make it look a little bit more presentable so it's not, dirty when I'm recording. Okay, fine, done. All right, what's the next thing? Okay, maybe make sure that like I've got a jumper on or something and I'm not like, in some like hoodie or something. I don't know, like if you want to look presentable on camera, whatever, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. But if you're kind of, in your pajamas and you're like, okay, maybe I should put like a shirt on or a t-shirt, whatever, then get changed and do that. All right, that's step 2. What's step 3? Okay, well, I need to record the video, so get your phone onto the tripod. Has it got charge in it? Let's see. No, it's got no charge. Okay, maybe put your phone on charge for a bit. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, you just take it step by step. And that's going to take it from being this big daunting task where your brain is giving you friction, like, oh, we've got to set up everything. And, I don't want to record because it's going to take ages and I've got to clean my room and all this. You can just break it down into little tasks. And when you just take things step by step like that, before you know it, you're going to be recording like I am now, right? I'm literally recording this video because I was like, okay, first things first, put my phone on the tripod, get it set up, and then that's the first thing done, okay? So now all I need to do is just press record. So for you, with a different task, like I say, with the gym, that could be the same thing, right? Oh, I really can't bother going to the gym today. I just don't want to go. You just got back from work and you sat on your bed and you're just scrolling through your phone. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. Oh, I don't feel up for it. Okay, first step. Turn your phone off, put your gym gear on, put your gym shoes on, get your headphones, put your headphones around your neck, get your water bottle, fill it up. Take everything step by step. And then the closer you get to actually being at the gym and doing it, before you know it, you're doing a gym workout and you've not skipped a day doing the gym. So take things step by step. And like I said, the main thing to take from this section of the video is to just start. Sometimes starting before you have the plan in place is going to be the thing that gets you the ideas and the plan and the work, right? You just need to start the work without any kind of idea of what you're actually doing. This is basically how I have built my channel, from being like, 50 subscribers back when I was trying to meticulously plan everything. I wanted it all like a business plan all sorted, to just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to start recording and think of what kind of stuff I could say on camera in the moment. Obviously now I kind of plan it out a bit more. Like, there is a script for this video that I'm saying now. I'm not following it really. I'm following a couple of points, but I spent ages writing the script, and then as I've started recording, I've just realized like I'm not even following the script. That is kind of what I want to get across to you today. If you, like I say, spend too much time planning and trying to get everything perfect, because you're trying to make it predictable, you're trying to make it, so it's not going to fail. Like, you're just spending too much time researching into how to make like the best content, the best whatever, then that is the thing that is stopping you from actually making any progress, because you do that as the productive work, or you think you're being productive, like scripting videos and doing all this stuff, rather than just actually creating the content, which is the actual work that's going to make the biggest impact on your progress. So yeah, in summary, just start before you know how. So the third bit of advice I want to give you is you need to get into what's called flow state. So you might have heard of this before, but it's basically kind of like when you get into a flow, kind of like I'm sort of getting into the flow with making this video, right? That momentum that you get from being productive and just working, and like you remove the distractions, you just focusing purely on the task at hand. And for me, this is just recording this video. You get into this like flow where things start getting a bit easier. Your brain isn't saying, oh, let's not bother doing this anymore. Your brain, the thoughts that were in your brain to not do this task and to do it later on have like completely gone, and now you're just doing the task. Okay, now you're working hard, you're trudging through the snow like I said at the beginning, right? And you feel good for that. And getting into that flow state, that momentum of you doing that task, is what is going to allow you to actually work way harder and for way longer than most people. Like, you're going to have more output per unit of time that you put into your work, because the momentum can carry over into the next task. So for example, with me recording this video, it's very unlikely that when I've got the phone on the tripod, I've got my mic plugged in, I've got the light on, right? I've got everything set up to record videos. It's very unlikely that I'll just record the one video. I'll usually record maybe 3 or 4 videos in one day or in one sitting, right? Because everything's set up and you kind of warm up a bit when you make your first video. You get into that flow. Like, I'm getting into that rhythm now where I'm feeling a bit better, right? I didn't want to record before this, but now I'm recording a video, and you start to feel a bit better. And that is what allows you to then just go into the next video and maybe just make another one. And then you think, oh, I'll make another one and another one. And then before you know it, you've done like 4 days worth of work in like, 3 hours or something like that. And this can be the same with like, any kind of work that you're doing in your life, right? It could be like emails, or like maybe you're doing PPC. Like, obviously I mentioned that I do PPC, which is like Google advertising in the company that I work at, right? You might just be getting into a flow state of doing that, where you have a client that needs some ads creating, and you just create the ads and just keep going with it, right? That kind of links into that whole SMMA, the social media marketing agency thing, right? That like every man and his dog's doing nowadays, that I actually started doing at the start of this channel. But yeah, you might get into a flow state with that. Once you build up a bit of momentum, you just keep going and going and going. And before you know it, the whole task is done, right? That you'd like quoted hours and hours and hours to do. You could get it done in like an hour or something. And that is like a really positive feeling, right? It feels really good when you're just working and you're being productive and you can get into that flow state. So that is the next thing that I want you to focus on, and try and keep in that flow state. So the way that I keep in this flow state is kind of easier for me, because obviously I'm recording these videos on my phone. So I don't have any like temptation to take my phone off this tripod, because it's kind of annoying, right? There's kind of like a clip on my phone, and it's kind of difficult to like take the phone off the tripod, whatever. So it's actually easier for me to just leave my phone there. And because my phone is already here with the mic plugged in and everything, it's already set up, and I can just think, oh, it's actually easier to just go and record the next video so I don't have to like set all this up again. So that is kind of what I recommend for you. Whatever the task is that you're doing, just don't be tempted to think, oh, it's done now. I've done it. You know what I mean? Great. Fucking, I've done sick, you know what I mean? Like, work day's done. I've done like 40 minutes of work. I'm done now. No. Just keep up with that momentum, okay? Because even if like one day you do 90% of the work in the week, that's better than you just like splitting out your work across the week and being balanced and shit. Do you know what I mean? Having to set it up every time again and having to overcome the friction in your brain of your brain telling you that you don't need to do this today, you can do it another day and that kind of thing, right? When you can just go through with that momentum and keep that momentum going throughout like a work session, that is going to make you feel so much more fulfilled and productive, because you don't have to overcome those negative thoughts that are stopping you from working a second time or a third time. You can just get it out the way, and then when you get into that flow, you can just keep that flow going, and it's going to make each bit of work that you do afterwards so much easier each time, because you're getting like more and more warmed up. And speaking of removing distractions and keeping things simple, the next bit of advice I want to give you is to be bored. Now, this is something I talked about before, but yes, it might be great that you can overcome the friction in your mind. You can trudge through the snow. This is what hard work feels like. Okay, great, you're doing the hard work. But one of the main things that was stopping me in the early days when I like first had the YouTube channel, when I first started it, was my distractions and me not being bored, essentially. Constantly filling my time up in the day with dopamine, with content, with doing stuff. So when I first started creating this YouTube channel, like over, I think it's nearly 3 years actually, which is kind of mad actually. I've had this YouTube channel for 3 years. But yeah, like back in the early days of this YouTube channel, I would spend, a lot of time researching. I'd create a video, and then after I'd created one video, I was like, okay, great, I've done my work for the week or whatever, one video a week. And I would just get on my phone and I would start scrolling through Instagram, not TikTok, but mainly just Instagram and like YouTube shorts. And I was like, yeah, I'm done for the day with work, right? I've recorded a video, great, I don't need to do anything else. And I would just start scrolling through my phone. And the moment that I deleted social media from my phone, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I deleted social media like about 2 years ago now. And I've not had social media since. I've deleted it and I've stayed off of it. When I actually made the move to delete social media, that is when I went from like 50 subscribers to like over 1,000. And I know that that's not a huge amount. Like, I'm still a very small YouTube channel, but I can guarantee that I have a bigger YouTube channel than most people who watch my videos, which isn't like me trying to flex in some weird way, because again, it's a small YouTube channel. But the main benefit of that was when I got to 1,000 subscribers, I was put onto the YouTube Partner Program, which meant that I was actually now getting paid from my YouTube videos. A very small amount. I think I got paid like £70, which is like $100 in the first month of YouTube. Okay, it's a small amount, but as soon as you actually make your first dollar online, like through your phone, like I made that money through my phone being on this tripod with the light, everything, right? I've talked about having overcome the friction in my brain and just sitting down and just recording and just doing the work. It's almost like real world evidence of when you actually do these things that I've said and like actually work hard and actually remove the distractions and get into flow state and just create content and be a producer rather than a consumer. It's real world evidence that can generate you income. And that is such a powerful motivator. For me, at least, it was a very powerful motivator, because whenever now I think of creating a YouTube video, it's easier for me to overcome the friction than it will be for you to do your work, because at least I have one part of my brain is saying, yeah, let's just make this video after I've had some food or whatever, or after I've been to the gym. But there's another part of my brain that's actually saying, well, actually this like video could make us like £5, right? Which again, isn't a lot. But when you have that real world evidence that like what the work that you're doing can actually generate you income, like real world results, that is a huge motivator. And for me, the one thing that literally changed that whole dynamic, that whole paradigm shift that happened in my YouTube journey was removing social media, because now I had no excuse. There's nothing on my phone to distract me other than like, yeah, I've got the YouTube app. Maybe I might watch a YouTube video on my phone or something like that. But I don't have Instagram, I don't have TikTok, I don't have Snapchat, right? I don't have Twitter or any of this bullshit, right? There's nothing on my phone to like actually watch or do, right? So I don't get distracted from my phone. And when you can remove that distraction, and the reason I'm like, by the way, just on the side, the reason I'm going so far into like the phone specifically, like social media, is because I know for a fact that you watching this right now are fully addicted to social media. I used to spend like maybe 4 hours a day just doom scrolling through random bullshit reels on Instagram. Or like if my friend sent me a meme, right, I'd have to open the meme up and then it would be on Instagram, and then I would spend the next hour just scrolling, right, doing nothing basically, brain rot content. I can guarantee that you're either at the same level that I was with social media, or to be honest, like that's kind of low nowadays, right? Like 4 hours a day is actually kind of like a good screen time on social media. Most people, it's like 6 or 7 hours a day, which is fucking insane. Like there's no point like taking on my advice that I've given you in this video so far about getting into a flow state and all that kind of stuff, right? And removing, the limiting beliefs and thoughts and overcoming friction. If you don't actually physically have any time in the day to do this hard work, like there's no point you trying to work harder than most people if you're still just as distracted as most people, or just as you're consuming just as much content as most people are, because you're not actually physically going to have the time between social media and your job and like going, for a shit and eating food to actually even do any of the work that you need to do. So I'm going to talk about it for the rest of my life until I die. Just delete social media, or just at least massively limit the amount of time that you're on social media for, and stay off of it. Like I've been able to do this. It's like the one thing on self-improvement that I've been able to do that is actually kind of a big deal that most people cannot fucking do, is just delete social media and stay off of it. I've got a full course. It's completely free. Top link in the description, and it will just tell you exactly how I personally deleted social media, my mindset, the steps that I took, and more importantly, how I've stayed off of social media. If I had social media right now and was using it at the level that I did back in the day, this YouTube channel would be at like 200 subscribers maybe, which again, it's not like super different from the amount of subscribers I've got now, but it is actually massively different. Reason being is because now I can actually get over that threshold of getting paid from YouTube, and like whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's content creation or whatever business you're doing, I guarantee if you can just remove this like huge distraction of your phone, you are going to excel so much further in that thing. Your brain's going to convince you that it's like, oh, I don't know enough about SMMA yet or digital marketing, so I can't, that's why I'm not making enough money, right? Or I'm not working hard enough. Like you're pressing on this video because it's like how to work harder or how I've worked harder, right? And you kind of want to work hard, right? That's why you're watching this video. But no, it's probably just because you're addicted to social media, mate, honestly, or probably because you're addicted to porn or Netflix. Like you have some vice in your life that's taking up a huge amount of your free time. And honestly, if you just want to work harder than most people, you need to cut down the time that you spend consuming content. Like that is one of the biggest things. So you need to be bored. You need to have more free time. And then when you're bored, you can do shit like this, right? You can record videos, you can script videos, you can research into stuff, you can read books, you can listen to podcasts, you can go to the gym, and you can get into this whole kind of self-improvement mindset on whatever it is you do, right? Self-improvement is this blanket term that actually helps anyone in any field of business, anywhere, doing anything, right? If you can get into this sort of mindset that I'm in now, you're going to be able to create content like I am as well. And I'm not saying that I'm amazing at creating content. I'm just not, right? I'm still a beginner just like you. I'm very average. I'm still very much at the start of my journey, but I am recording a video and you're watching it. That's not disrespect, but I'm the one that's actually producing content. You're consuming it. So please just take my advice, please just delete social media, because I guarantee your phone is the biggest issue. Let's say it's not. Let's say you've already deleted social media. Okay, are you watching loads of porn? Are you addicted to watching Netflix? Like, are you always watching the latest TV show that comes out on Netflix? Are you constantly playing video games? Like, whatever it is that you're doing, I guarantee there's one thing that you're doing that is a huge, huge distraction and is stopping you from actually going ahead and doing stuff like this, right? Being productive and recording videos. So all the tips I've given you in this video, all the advice I've given you, it's not gonna work if you don't allow yourself the time or the energy to actually invest into doing the work that you need to do. Okay, so in summary, every time that you get a thought in your brain that is friction telling you that you can do this work at another time or later on, take that thought, tell it to fuck off, and just do the work anyway, okay? That's trudging through the snow. Actively see that thought in your head, picture it, and be like, okay, I've ignored that thought and I've just done it anyway. From that, you just start, you just begin. Whatever the task is that you need to do, it could be scripting videos or writing an email. You open up the email, you start writing. You open up the document, you start scripting. You put your camera on the tripod, you start recording, okay? Just start. And then what do you do after that? Okay, you do the task, you get into a flow state, keep up that momentum. After I've recorded this video, which I'm recording now, I've got a bit of momentum now, haven't I? I've got a bit of motivation and warmed up. I can now go ahead and record my next video, okay? And you'll see that on the channel, okay? So keep that momentum going and just stay in that flow state for as long as possible, okay? And lastly, remove the distractions. Be more bored. Free up the time in your day, don't be as distracted, and have more free time to actually invest into the work that you need to do. Okay, bro, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, inspirational, informative in any way. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.